Hello everyone, I am Crawlers and this is another episode of Ridiculous Loadout. As you may already know, this is a series I started way back when in the Battlefield 3 days, basically whoring myself out for cheap views, running a suggested loadout from one of you in the comments section. Now, mostly, this is a not so tactical series where most of the loadouts are either troll or bad or just plain ugly looking. Really, I get a chance to try out a kit, a combination that I haven't thought of before, and maybe have good results with it. Mostly not though. So, this time, the Skyrim freak suggested a loadout he calls the Colonial Marine style, which consists of the assault rifle variant of the QBZ-951 with the underbarrel grenade launcher, laser pointer, and iron sights. And for the sidearm, he suggested the Cerberus Shorty shotgun with the full choke to make it a little bit more accurate. And of course, being a medic, I also grabbed the medic bag as I really can't leave home without it. And before I really start to discuss the QBZ-951, I gotta say, the Cerberus Shorty is an intense sidearm. I mean, its stopping power can't be matched by anything out there. With buckshot, putting down a maximum damage of 18 per pellet, which is the same as a single bullet from the G18 or the 93R. And needless to say that if you unload most of the pellets into your target, it's pretty much a guaranteed one-hit kill. So, close range for room clearing, it can't be beat. Sometimes I even double back, doing a crazy Ivan sort of thing, switching to the Shorty when rounding around the corner, and I sense that someone is behind me, because coming around the corner they aren't expecting a face full of buckshot, and at that range I really don't have to be a surgeon to get a 1 or 2 hit kill on the pursuer. So it's pretty much a done deal. So the QBZ-951 is an interesting looking Chinese bullpup assault rifle, appearing for the first time in Battlefield 4, I believe. Before, it appeared in Battlefield 2 Modern Combat. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong about this, I haven't personally played it. Actually, no, that was not the assault rifle variant in that game. That was a carbine variant, I believe. There are several variants for the QBZ-95 in real life, as we know now from Battlefield 4. There's a rifle, carbine, light support weapon, assault rifle, and even civilian variants of the weapon. Some coming in the 5.56 caliber variety. And interestingly enough, the QBZ-951 in Battlefield 4 runs on the 5.8mm DAP Chinese cartridge, specifically developed for their assault rifles, and claiming, of course, to be superior to the 5.56mm NATO round or the 5.45 Russian round. But having said this, and although in Battlefield 4 it uses the 5.8mm round, interestingly enough, it adapted the 5.56 assault rifle standard damage model in the game, which for its slow rate of fire is a bit of a problem, therefore making it one of the least used assault rifles in the game. In fact, its 650 RPM rate of fire is the third lowest rate of fire among assault rifles, The top two spots going to the SAR-21 and the SCAR-H, of course, which, by the way, which obviously compensates for its slow rate of fire by putting down a lot more damage. Well, the QBZ-951 actually seems to compensate for the slow rate of fire by having a pretty good muzzle velocity, clocking in at 630 meters a second, which means easier kills over, medium ranges and not having to lead the target too much, because a faster bullet will walk over to the target a lot faster and hit him right on the ass. Now, in Battlefield 3, we did have the KH-2002, if you remember, which kind of looked similar to the QBZ-951, with the rail on top. But actually, the Iranian assault rifle shot in bursts and acted quite differently from the Chinese assault rifle that we are comparing it to. And by the way, here's a fun fact for you. The KH-2002 was the assault rifle I used for filming my very first episode of Ridiculous Loadout in Battlefield 3 over a year ago. And by the way, Robaz stopped by and commented on that video, which was pretty damn awesome and, made my month. And so the series sort of grew and became more regulated over time, and since then I have filmed and uploaded over 50 episodes, transitioning from Battlefield 3 to Battlefield 4, and in the future hopefully to Battlefield 5. Alright, so let's get back to the assault rifle at hand, so to speak. It's a bullpup assault rifle, as I've said, and has the rail on top of it that is used, among other things, for scopes and sights, which is actually an interesting thing. You see, in real life this might be a tiny bit of a problem, as you would be aiming a bit higher than what your barrel would be pointing at, but in game this really isn't a problem. You see, in FPS games like Battlefield, the actual bullets you fire in the game world, the projectiles, they all fly out of where your head is located, where your character's head is located, and not actually out of the gun's barrel. The visual animation that you are actually firing the gun is simply that, an animation. It does not have anything to do with the actual shooting, which is why they call it the visual recoil, by the way, and not the actual recoil, because it's only for the sake of appearance. But because bullets come out of your head in the game, this leads to a problem called head glitching. Basically, it was implemented in the case of FPS games, so that whatever you see with your eyes, even when hiding behind cover, you can hit. So it can appear that your gun is well hidden behind a box or some sort of other barrier, and only your head is sticking out, but you can still shoot and hit the guy in front of the box. And the problem is that most of the time he won't be able to hit you back because head glitching. But other than that, let's see, the iron sights on the QBZ-951 aren't too bad, actually. I like the ones that aren't too thick, pardon the pun, and the ones that sort of, these ones sort of isolate the target in a clean, see-through cutout circle. Now, as for the laser sight, you all know I don't really like using or equipping on my assault rifles the laser sights, really, since I think they just give away my position, and the laser sight helps you in hipfire situations only, and I don't really like to hipfire on my targets that much. I always like to ADS before I shoot. Well, In this case, it might actually serve a purpose. You see, because the QBZ-951 is a bullpup assault rifle, it already has a better than average hipfire spread, so equipping the laser sight on it sort of makes sense as hipfiring now becomes a viable option. Problem is though that hipfiring is actually done out of panic most of the time when being surprised by an enemy and not having enough time to ADS. And there I think the QBZ-951 is going to get you killed because of its low rate of fire. In any sort of, panic situation, the simple fact of it is that the player who can put down the most lead in the shortest amount of time is going to come out on top. Now, surprisingly enough, the short reload for the QBZ-951 is the slowest among all assault rifles, clocking in at 3 seconds, and is slow enough in fact that some other assault rifles, full reloads, are indeed faster. Its long reload of 3.5 seconds is also nothing to write home about. And the most important part of the specs, by the way, I forgot to mention, the QBZ-951, as I said before, puts down a standard amount of 556 assault rifle damage in Battlefield 4 of 25 at 8 meters, which drops down to 18 at 55 meters. So, I've had a lot of fun with this loadout, especially with the shorty as my sidearm. It's true that its reload speed is a bit slow, especially for that first shell, and it only has the capacity to carry 3 shells at any one time. But as far as close range stopping power goes, it is phenomenal. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ridiculous Loadout. And now, because I don't feel like suffering alone, the Skyrim freak must also run this loadout and upload it to YouTube, and I'll accept the link down below in the comments section. Thanks for watching. Please rate and share this video, that helps my channel grow. Check out my other videos at the end of this one, and remember, in Soviet Russia, YouTube subscribes you.